now. And I'm pleased to hear all of the towns, especially Natick, because my wife and I lived with our children in Natick, Massachusetts for 5 years when I was a rabbi at Temple Shir Tikva on Boston Post Road that many of you may know. So I heard Sudbury, Needham, Dedham. I know all the areas very well, and we have family in Framingham. We lived right near the Natick Collection off of Speen Street, so it was nice to hear all of the towns that I'm quite familiar with and love to pass through when we come home to visit my sister-in-law, come back to visit my sister-in-law in Framingham. And I also have Brooklyn, lived in New York City for 10 years, so we almost lived in Brooklyn before Brooklyn was like the hot place to be. My wife tried to convince me to live there. I'm the one who said no. She still doesn't let me forget it. We could have bought a nice place in Brooklyn 20 years ago, and we didn't, and she doesn't let me forget it. Anyway, so I live outside of Philadelphia with my 3 children. I have a 13-year-old daughter, Noah, who just had her bat mitzvah. I have a 10-year-old, Ami, and a 6-year-old, Yoni. And a new puppy whose name is Ali. He joined the family a week ago. So I'm a little bleary-eyed because we have a baby, and it's like getting up with a baby in the house. For those of you who have dogs, you know, you'll understand. I see a few nods. You understand. Anyway, I'm really glad to be here tonight. I really appreciate the time. I know lots of folks are on Zoom all the time, and there's a lot of things going on in our world. So I really appreciate your time tonight. And most especially, I really want to thank Sasha. Sasha, thank you so much for the partnership. Thank you so much for inviting us into this relationship with Jukinder. So I'm going to, and our Russian-speaking Jewish community. So I'm going to share my screen. And I will add, I will say this, I do not speak Russian. My father is first generation American. Both of my grandparents are originally from Russia, like many American Jews. And in the past year or so, we started doing a lot of research about where they come from. And I have found the map and the manifesto and all the opportunities that they had. And what's interesting is they actually came through Providence, Rhode Island. And the Litkovskis, which is what my last name is, settled actually in New England and Philadelphia. And so when I lived in Massachusetts, I had met Litkovskis for the first time in my entire life that I didn't even know existed. So first of all, so thank you all again for allowing me to join this evening. I'm just going to share my screen for a second. Can you all see that? Awesome. So what is Alexander Muss High School in Israel? Alexander Muss High School in Israel is an academic study abroad program in Israel. I myself went when I was 15 years old, when I was this pisher of a little boy in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I wanted to go to Israel and I wanted to study abroad in high school, and my parents, thank God, gave me the opportunity to go. Alexander Muss High School in Israel is a fully accredited academic institution in Israel. What does that mean? It means that when you come to us for a semester, when you come to us for 8 weeks, we transfer all of your credits to your school. We transfer all of your academics back to your school. Just a little bit more about the school in a second. We are officially part of Jewish National Fund. Raise your hand if you've ever planted a tree in Israel, right? Or had somebody plant a tree in Israel for you. We're officially part of Jewish National Fund. Alexander Muss High School in Israel has been around for almost 50 years. We have over 30,000 alumni who have come to our program. And about 7 years ago, we officially became part of Jewish National Fund, which was really an amazing thing for our organization. I'm just going to fast forward for a second. So what are we? Like I said, we're an academic study abroad program where you can earn college credits in Israel through the University of Miami. We are the ultimate college prep study abroad program. It really is an opportunity for your students and students across the country and across the world to build their college resume. I mean, the reality of the world in which we live now is that it's a very competitive place to get into the top colleges and top universities. And nowadays, you really can stand out on your college resume and your college application by spending a semester abroad. And our students are getting into universities like University of Michigan. I'm a Penn Stater myself. I know it's not Ivy League, but I'm still a Big Ten person. They're getting into universities like Harvard and Yale and Penn State and Michigan and all the top universities because of their time studying abroad in Israel with Alexander Muss High School in Israel. So who are we? This is the front of our campus. So who are we? We were founded in 1972 out of Miami by a rabbi named Morris Kipper. Rabbi Kipper understood that to really give teenage Jews an identity with Israel, they needed to spend a long period of time in Israel. And so he founded this high school program. And then a couple of years later, the Miami Federation came along, joined partnerships, and then a gentleman came and made a donation, and it became the Alexander Muss High School in Israel. We're a non-denominational school. What does that mean? I'm a Reform rabbi. I served Reform congregations for about 15 years in Massachusetts and New Jersey. We have Jews and non-Jews alike across the spectrum. We have Jewish students who have never put on a kippah before, and we have Jewish students who wear a kippah all the time. Our job is to bring kids to Israel, give them an amazing college level experience, and I stress college level academic experience, and have them sort of, express themselves and find themselves with Jewish identity. We have more than 31,000 alumni globally over the almost 50 years that we've been in existence. And like I said, we were acquired by Jewish National Fund in 2013. There are different opportunities to study with us. We actually have an amazing grant through the Genesis Philanthropy Group for Russian-speaking Jewish teenagers. Almost 50% off of tuition is the grant for the semester program. Our semester program is an amazing opportunity. Again, we will work directly with your school. We have PhDs teaching our academic classes in the afternoon, and we'll work directly with your school. The main part of our program, of course, is the Israel Studies class. The Israel Studies class is 5,000 years of Jewish history, and Israel is the classroom. So if you're studying about Tel Aviv one day, you're going to Tel Aviv the next day. So again, our Israel Studies class that you take in the morning, that is a college level class that you can get 6 college credits for. Our campus, because it is a campus, is located in Hod HaSharon, which is when I went 30 years ago to Alexander Muss High School in Israel, Hod HaSharon was, like a backwater town. Nowadays, it's a hustle-bustle suburb of Tel Aviv. We have a campus with our own dorms, with our own administrative building, with our own cafeteria. And as you can see on the map, we're located near Tel Aviv. And these are some pictures of the town. I just want to show you a couple of the pictures of campus. Again, this really is a college prep experience for your students, for your kids, through 10th through 12th grade. And I'm just going to show you some pictures, but these are our classroom buildings. These are our students, having class outside. I got to tell you, I lived in Massachusetts for 5 years. I never had class outside. I wouldn't imagine having class outside, especially in January or February. So here they are. Again, just because they're outside, it's the same high-level academic experience. Of course, teens want to have fun, so there's different activities for them to do, just different parts of the campus. Many of our students are top-notch musicians, so they bring their guitars, they bring their cellos, they bring their violins. We had a student from Harrisburg who was a concert cellist and practiced every day in the soundproof music room. They have dorms that they live in and shared living spaces and things like that. Just some more pictures of our campus. This is some pictures of our students in the classroom. And this is one of our teachers in the classroom. And again, what I want to stress about Alexander Muss High School in Israel is the high level of academics. In the morning, they're in their Israel Studies classes, and we're going to hear about Donnie Condell, who's teaching our certificate program this summer with Jukinder. Most of our teachers have master's degrees. They have master's degrees in education. They have master's degrees. You hear about Donnie, who has a master's degree in counterterrorism. And in the afternoon, they are doing their academics, math, science, English, literature. We actually have a professor on staff who is, I think we're the only study abroad high school who does this. Our students are writing full academic papers that are being published in medical journals with one of our teachers who teaches both biology, I'm gonna get this right, teaches biology, chemistry, and physics. That's 3 things. And they are doing all sorts of interesting opportunities with him in terms of academic research and academic papers. So again, it is really a college prep experience while they're living in Israel. On a dorm experience. And again, these are some more pictures in their travel, some of our students outside. And of course, this is, one of those pictures of the kids overlooking the Dead Sea at sunset, and a picture of our students and other stuff. And this is the picture of our classroom. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a second. And I wanna say a couple of last things and then open up to questions. And then I want to talk about the certificate program that we put together for the summer, which is really the first of its kind. Alexander Muss High School in Israel has been around for almost 50 years. And like I said, we have over 30,000 alumni. And it really is an opportunity for teenagers across the United States to build their college resume, to get high-level, top-notch academic experience, but also experience things that they otherwise would not have experienced. It's not like going to overnight camp, right? Overnight camp, you're in a bunk, you're in a bunk with other kids. Here, you have a dorm life experience, you have RAs, madrichim that you work with, and you're learning skills for adulthood, you're learning skills that are prep for college. You know, I have to say, I started working here just by way of background. I was a congregational rabbi for about 15 years. And about 3.5 years ago now, I can't believe it, the CEO of Jewish National Fund, who I've known for almost 20 years, and the CEO of AMHSI called me and said, hey, Greg, we've got this national director of recruitment. We've never had this position before. What do you think? I was a congregational rabbi. I was ready, you know, figuring out what I wanted to do. And I'll tell you, I have the greatest job in the world. I get to work with folks like Sasha and parents like you all across the country to help bring that transformative experience to teens like I had. And it's been amazing. You know, we send about 1,200 kids a year to our campus, which is unbelievable. You know, 3-4 years ago, we were sending 500, 600, 700 kids a year. And again, last year we finished with just over 1,200 students a year. And again, these kids are coming back, and they're not kids, excuse me, these teens are coming back not only with high-level academic experience, but kind of life experience, traveling abroad. And I will tell you, in the 3 years that I've worked for AMHSI in this capacity, I've written probably 10 college recommendations, and I've worked with countless teens at this point who are writing about their study abroad experience on their college essays that really make them stand out and stand apart. So that's the story of Alexander Muss High School in Israel. You know, I'm going to talk a second about, take a breath, talk for a couple minutes about the certificate program that we're doing this summer, specifically to work with Sasha and with the Russian-speaking Jewish community, specifically around the grant that we have with the Genesis Philanthropy Group that will allow Russian-speaking Jewish teens to come to Israel on a really amazing amount of money in grants. But I'm going to stop there. Sasha, you know, questions. If I talk too fast, let me know. I tend to, you know, the rabbi in me tends to talk and want to go on and on. So any questions or thoughts or comments, please.
Well, I have questions from Julia Lachovich, I'm sorry. But I see her here, so maybe she can ask her questions herself. I just have an email from her. Julia? Julia Lachovich?
Sorry, I'm trying to unmute myself. Okay. Yes, my question, first question is, what kind of activities the kids are going to be doing those 1.5 hours every Wednesday? Is that some kind of lecture that they're listening? Is that some kind of group activity? How the learning is going to happen?
So it's a great transition to what we're going to do this summer. So before I answer that question, I just want to see if there's any questions about sort of the, you know, study abroad program that is part of, you know, what we're talking about. And I will promise we'll talk about, in fact, I want to call up the picture of Donnie for a second as well.
If I may just ask, this is Natalia. So, sorry, I was multitasking, so if you covered it, you don't have to go through it again. But so what qualifies a student for this program? Like, what are the qualifications for somebody to
Great
apply
question.
and be accepted?
Yeah, it's a great question. We have a pretty rigorous application process. They have to keep, I mean, I believe the minimum GPA is 2.0, but we do a rigorous interview application for the entire program. There are students who we feel, you know, look, we're looking for students who have emotional maturity, who have academic experience. You know, it's a program that's not for everybody. A student who is able to really, is mature enough to be away from home for up to 4 months. So we have an interview process. We work with the schools. We ask for recommendations. So those are really the qualifications. And again, those who participate in the certificate program this summer will be eligible to apply for the grant that we have as part of the grant for Russian-speaking Jewish teens. So it's a great question. Thank you. And part of the grant is we have that it's a $10,000 grant. So tuition for our semester is over $20,000, and the grant that we have for RSJ teens is $10,000. So it really is a significant grant for the community. And that's why I'm grateful for the partnership to Sasha to be able to introduce this this amazing program for study abroad, but also this summer's program to the community.
But just to understand, and I'm sorry, this is a very technical question. So the tuition per semester is $20,000 for this 4 months or so program, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so whoever qualifies for the program, do they get some sort of scholarship, or the parents cover the cost?
So the answer is yes and yes. So again, we have a special grant for RSJ community that offers $10,000, right? So those students who are participating this summer in that certificate program that we're going to talk about in a second will qualify to apply for the grant. We only have 10 spots available we actually have 20 spots available, but for 2 different sessions. So if your child, if your teen, if your student winds up applying to AIM-HSI and gets in and takes the certificate program, they would be eligible for the $10,000 grant scholarship, which would bring the tuition down to about $10,000. And then if you needed more financial aid and more scholarship, we would work with you to make sure. Listen, I'm going to tell you a quick story. When I went on Alexander Mas High School in Israel, look, my father was a public school teacher. My mother was a nursery school teacher, working class family in Philadelphia. And I wanted to go to Israel, and I think then it was $5,000. You know, this is 1992. It was a lot of money. My parents went to the rabbi, and the rabbi said, "We'll give you $50." Could you imagine? $50. $50. So when I became a rabbi, a congregational rabbi, I swore to myself I would never be that rabbi that said, "Hey, you can only have $50 to go to Israel and participate in this program." And when I took this job as director of recruitment and partnerships, I also promised myself that I would do my best to fundraise and to make opportunities available for students that this program is affordable. And this is one of the things we're most proud of. So we're offering this scholarship, this grant for the RSJ community. And if there's more of a need, one can always apply for more financial aid. We want you to go. We want to be able to make it work.
Can you please just, maybe I missed it, what town is the high school in?
Great question. I'm going to share my screen again. I'm going to show you the map real quick.
Is this in Hod Sharon?
It's in Hod Sharon, which is just outside.
Yeah, I know where it is. I'm from Israel. I know very well.
You know Hod Sharon. So Hod Sharon is about a 15, 20-minute ride from Tel Aviv. Again, it used to be this tiny little suburban town, but it really is.
Very wealthy town right now.
It is, unfortunately, I wish in 1992 I bought an apartment in Hod Sharon. I'd be a very rich man.
Yeah.
But who knew that little, it's like, you know what it is?
2 million easy. 2 million.
I'll tell you something. It's like when we lived in Natick, right? In 2000, Natick was up and coming. Now everybody's moving west because Natick, everything is becoming less affordable. It's the same thing. Hod Sharon used to be that town, and now everyone's moving further out. So great question. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Donna, for asking me.
Thank you.
No, that's not me. That's your daughter's name.
No, Donna is my daughter. I'm Ira. It's okay. She's
Ira,
here.
nice to see you. Yeah.
So, Julia has a question. Julia has a question.
So I had a question. You talked a lot about the semester program, but also on one of the slides, I saw that you have 6-week program, which is a summer program. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we offer really 4 opportunities. I will tell you the reason I spoke about the semester is the grant that we got is only for semester, right? So the $10,000 is only available for the semester because for a variety of reasons. However, you're right, I would be remiss if I didn't mention our other opportunities. So we have 4 8-week sessions during the year, what we call our mini-mesters. You can go October's mini-mester, December, February, April, and you can go for the summer 6-week session. All, by the way, have college credit available for the Israel Studies class. In the summer, there's no academics in the afternoon, and you're in class longer. As I like to say, just because you're in Israel for 6 weeks, we don't lop off 2,000 years of Jewish history. We're still teaching 5,000 years of Jewish history, just in a shorter period of time. And I will tell you, I heard Needham, Dedham, Natick. I didn't hear Wayland, but I heard Sudbury. So I'm assuming those are all the high schools. We got Natick on here, Natick High. We have LS, right? Anyway, we've worked with all of the high schools, I would assume, unless, I mean, there may be private schools on here that I don't know about. We definitely have worked with the private schools in the Boston area, but we've worked with all of the public schools, or most of the public schools in the Boston area, and actually in the Brooklyn area as well. So we have that experience. So again, there really is, you could go for 6 weeks, you go for 8 weeks during the school year, or for the full semester, but the grant is really only available for the semester. With that said, if you chose an 8-week session, again, financial aid available and also other opportunities for us to be able to make it work.
What about the cost of a summer program? Is it the same across the board for all the?
No, so our summer program is it's about $8,000 for the summer program for 6 weeks, but that's with the early bird. I believe the highest price is $9,000, but there's always with an early bird it's about $8,000. The 8-week session is $11,500. Like I said, our semester is 21. And like I said, I know there's generous grants, and the CJP has grants for summer programs, not school year programs. But again, we have generous financial aid available as well if that's an issue for anybody.
Quick question. Children must reside on campus, right? Or where children will reside?
All must reside on campus. Now, I will say a lot of our students who come have family in Israel. It sounds like Ira. It sounds like you had family in Israel. Family in Israel, right? So there's opportunities for your daughter if she would visit them. We have all sorts of rules, obviously. Safety is our #1 concern. How can she get off campus, who she can stay with, and things like that. But they must live on campus, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, great question.
Now, if let's say I would like to bring 2 more girls, do you have, I mean, you're recruiting very well, obviously. Some sort of promotional video I can show children?
So we have our website. We are in the middle of redesigning our website and promotional videos, but I do have videos. I've got a college guidance counselor. I'll tell you what, you can get my email from Sasha afterwards. And in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put I'm going to put my email, or Sasha, can you put my email in the chat?
Can you do it yourself? I'm recording this session. When I'm recording, I can't go through different sites.
Great. Okay, I'll then I can send it to my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So if everyone's right, it's glitcofsky@amhsi.org, and I can send you as much information as you can. But Sasha, do you have her information?
I probably don't. You didn't sign up for the program, right? For our program.
Yes, I did.
You did. Because I don't see your name. Your full name.
Aaron Muchnik. Aaron
Muchnik, yes. So I have your information. I just.
Okay.
Just do me a favor, and I don't want to take too much. Can you just spell your first and last name again?
Erin.
Yep.
Last name Moochnick. Muchnik.
Awesome. I mean, we'll connect afterwards. So thank you. And I have videos and lots of stuff to show, and I'm happy to talk to them one-on-one. So
thank you.
Any questions about MUST? And then I do want to talk about the summer, because I'm as excited about AMHSI. As I am the summer as I am about AMHSI. Awesome. So what we decided to do as part of our partnership is we recognize, look, I got 3 kids. We were overnight campers. Overnight camp was canceled. They've been on online school. We have no idea what we're doing over the summer. I got to keep them off the streets so they don't get in trouble, because they're terrible children. Really, no, they're not. They're spectacular. So what Sasha and I talked about is how can we create something? What can we do together this summer to really bring some of the RSJ community together to learn something unique and different, but also still allow them opportunity to, build their resume and get a certificate from a program that we did this summer that would hopefully lead them to want to come on AMHSI. So what we did was we developed for the very first time, and really I am really excited about this, a 6-week class on Israeli technology and innovation. It's going to be every Wednesday from 10:30 a.m. to about 12 p.m. And it's going to be taught by one of our best teachers. Now, I'm saying this on a recorded line. We have the most amazing teachers. So I would say that about every teacher. And I will tell you as a side note, one of the things about AMHSI are our teachers. My teacher's name was Alan Odess. Alan Odess retired about 5 years ago. I still talk to him. And I wish I were unique, but I'm not. Our teachers have impacts in our students' lives through adulthood. It really is unbelievable. So Donnie Condell, who is the one who was teaching this 6-week class on Israeli technology and innovation, excuse me, July 8th to August 12th for an hour and a half. It's really based on the idea of a startup nation. And Sasha really, what we wanted to do was showcase the best of Israel, but also talk to them about, what are the kinds of jobs, what are the kinds of things that are going on in Israel that they can learn practically, and really thinking about it from a professional perspective, really thinking about what it is that Israel has to offer. And so Donnie, I'm just going to read you his background. He's from Los Angeles. He moved to Israel and studied in yeshiva. He has informal education background. He was director of B'nai Akiva Zionist camp. But I think this is one of the coolest things about his bio. He actually has an MA. He has a BA in political science and military strategy. I didn't even know you could get that. But he's got an MA in counterterrorism and homeland security from IDC Herzliya. He's an amazing teacher. He's taught both our Israel studies classes and our secular studies classes, sociology, English literature, and psychology. And so he's going to spend 6 weeks with the students on interactive conversation. It's not a lecture, definitely not. None of our classes are lectures. It's going to be lots of interaction. We're going to study things like water and agriculture innovation, military innovation in Israel, medical innovation in Israel, environmental innovation in Israel, and high-tech innovation in Israel. And it isn't just going to be Donnie talking at the kids and the students. They're going to, Donnie's looking to bring in guest speakers in each of those areas of advancement in Israel, and really give them an idea of what kinds of careers, what kinds of things that they can do post high school. And my hope is that all, if not many of the students who take our 6-week class over the summer will come join us either in the spring semester of 2021 or the fall of 2021, be with Donnie in person, and continue seeing all of the things and learning all about the things they did in this 6-week program. At the end of the program, every student will receive a certificate, that they can put on their resume. We've completed this online course, we've completed this program. Able to put that sort of on their applications for college and resumes is the experience and the learning that they're going to get from Donnie about Israel and about all these amazing topics. So I'm going to stop talking and ask questions. Sasha, let me know if I missed anything. But that's our program for the summer.
Okay, I have a question. My daughter will be enrolled in a 2-week program, which may prevent her from joining for 2 of your sessions on Wednesdays in July. We don't know the schedule of that other remote program yet, but she may not have this in an hour and a half. Will she be able to at least see the recording, or you require the kids to be present for all sessions?
So I think ideally she'd be present for all sessions. But here's what I would say, Julia. Let's talk afterwards. If it's only 2 sessions and she can record it, and she does something for Donnie afterwards, I'm sure we could probably work something out. Because I would love for her to really participate. And 2 sessions out of 4, out of 6, I think would be the max that we'd want somebody not to be on live.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you talk a little bit about the program itself? How the class is going to be? Can you just give an example?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. My Wi-Fi stopped doing. So the way we're going to do it is we have it'll be done over Zoom. We have breakout rooms. I know Donnie is becoming and is a master in teaching online. There'll be a series of videos, a series of conversations. Donnie's looking to bring in guest speakers to talk about the different, if we're talking about, military innovation, right? We have a partnership with Ammunition Hill, which is, the bullet factory, that clandestine bullet factory in 1948 that the early Zionists, hid underground, and talking about Israeli innovation. Israeli innovation didn't start in 2020. Israeli and Jewish innovation started much earlier than that, even back in 1948. So bringing in somebody from Ammunition Hill, Or if we're talking about environmental innovation, you know, Jewish National Fund has partnerships in Israel. I'm bringing in our partners in Israel to talk about, you know, whether it's drip agriculture or other innovations that come out of Israel. The hope is to be able to bring in some guest speakers. We also have the ability to do breakout rooms. So I imagine Donnie will also build out breakout rooms so that students can have different conversations with each other and then come back together. And there'll also be, you know, some work outside. I mean, the reality is we're going to give a certificate at the end. So not only do we expect the students to be there, I imagine all of your students, kids like mine, are, you know, great academicians, right? I think mine are the best, and they are, you know, all straight A students. And, you know, this is something that we know we want to be able to also have them do things in between classes as well. So he'll log on. We'll do a little bit of also community building. It's important that the students know each other, because if they're going to have conversation and dialogue, they really have to, they really also have to know each other. And then we'll be able to send them stuff after class and before class. That's, you know, and that'll be the highlights, or that'll be the structure of the online classes.
Are there going to be any homework?
Great question. So I'll be honest, we have talked about what we want to do as homework. We recognize that this is over the summer, that it's not school, but we also recognize this is a certificate program, and we want the students to be serious about it, right? I mean, we're trying, and we would like to build a serious 6-week program. I mean, with an amazing teacher. So I don't foresee some kind of homework where they're writing essays, but there could be things that they need to watch. There could be discussions that they need to do in between classes. Like if they're talking again about, I'm just giving an example, if they're talking about environmental innovation, they may want to watch a video on the partner at Jewish National Fund and you know, maybe write a blog about it or post something together about it. But you know, we want to make it very serious, but also recognize that this is, you know, over the summer, and give the students a chance to experience serious academics.
I'm sure kids will be happy not to have a homework.
Okay, can I have a question, please?
Yep.
I wanted to ask about the impact of coronavirus. You know, if people are even going to be admitted into the country.
Yeah, it's a great question. So first of all, part of the reason we've gone online is because of, like, you know, I could imagine we would have done this in person or somehow over the summer. But the reality is right now, as of today, our fall session is running. You know, we've heard the latest that they're going to be letting foreigners in probably July. Most likely we have 60 plus students signed up for our fall semester. It's the largest fall semester we've had I think in a long time. So probably ever. And we're planning on bringing the students over. Most of the students are coming. We're just waiting for the dates of the flights to come in. Unfortunately, look, we had to cancel our summer session. You know, it's interesting. In Israel, everyone's worried about, you know, war breaking out or, you know, security. For the first time in almost 50 years, it was a virus that had to cancel our program, you know, not something else. But as of today, we're running our fall session. And we have a plan in place for bringing the students over and testing them and things like that. And we're looking forward to bringing our students back to campus in the fall.
Thanks.
Yep. Thanks. It's a great question. Other questions about the 6-week summer program? And again, what I want to say is the 6-week, the certificate program for the summer, for those students who complete it, they'll become eligible for the grant. And I want to be clear that the grant is available for the semester program, but also it's available for the spring of 2021 and the fall of 2021. And I know that sounds like a long time away, but the reality is many of our students apply 18 months before they leave, because if you have a student who's going to be a junior or a senior or a sophomore, whatever year, you know, you're going in the fall of 2021, you can plan your academics that far in advance, right? If I'm going to take math, you know, 2 this year, and I'm not going to take it next year, so I'm only taking that class in Israel. So it really is the perfect time to be planning, but that's when the grants are available, and those folks who complete the certificate program will be available for the grants over those semesters.
I have a question here. It's about the program in Israel. and it says like it's an anonymous question. It's this way. What if a teen is on IEP program? Will it be anyhow?
Yeah, it's a great question.
Will
So,
he help in Israel?
yeah, so it's a great question. It depends on the IEP, right? We do our best to accommodate every student. And somebody asked a question earlier about application process and things like that. We want our students to succeed in Israel, and Alexander Muss High School in Israel is not for everybody. And we do have many students with IEPs. Again, we have many of our teachers are specialized in special learning. It's just going to depend on the level of the IEP. Look, one of my kids, two of my children have IEPs. So I know a lot of students in America do. And again, it's just going to depend on the individualized learning plan and what we're able to offer and what we're actually able to do in Israel. And we talk about that. We talk about that in the application process with our admissions department. It's a great question, whoever asked it. Thank you.
So let's say in theory, if she will complete the program this year, and September she's going to 9th grade, and let's say who will this? I'm talking about timeline.
Fall.
Can she be eligible in 2022? Or it's time sensitive program?
So this particular grant is spring. So she would be eligible for fall of 2021, her sophomore year. And we actually get a lot of sophomores to come, especially a lot of folks feel like junior year. We get about, let me rephrase it. Our students are about 40 to 50% sophomores, about 30%-ish juniors, and the rest are seniors. And it's going to vary per program. A lot of juniors like to come second semester junior year, not first semester, because that's when they're figuring things out. So she would be eligible. I don't know if our grant will be available when you're a junior. Right now it'll be available when you're a sophomore. I'm hoping that our grant gets renewed, and if she wanted to come in 2022, it would be available. But right now it's available it would be for her the fall of 2021, which would be her sophomore year.
Okay. And as also for the summer 2021 as well, right?
No, the grant is only available for the semester programs. So, but I want to be clear.
For the full semester. Okay, for the full semester.
Right. But by the way, like if you're interested in MUS, like don't let that shouldn't stop you, right? I mean, we have other grants and other financial aid available. So if you're saying, look, Greg, I really want Donna to go in the summer, great. We'll go and we'll figure out how to get you there in the summer. If I want to go for the 8-week session in December, great. We'll figure out how to get you there for an 8-week session. So don't let that deter you from considering the program. It's just that the way this particular grant was given, it was given for the semester programs.
Question, if I redo this next summer and get like the certificate again, can I do that and go for 2022?
No, it's one-time certificate.
Oh.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, so the reality is that, this is a pilot program for us. We're going to try and do this summer. Once you do it, you'll be eligible, to apply for the scholarship. But again, I just don't know if it's going to be available. I really hope, but I don't want to make any promises.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Where are you in Natick? No.
Needham.
Needham. So are you going to Needham High?
Yeah.
And she wants to do the Jewish whatever club?
Jewish Student Union.
Yep. Yeah, we know the JC is there. Very well.
Yeah.
Great questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sasha, any other questions? Anything else about the summer or about the...
I have a question about returning to USA High School after that.
Please.
How it will be if our son will be one semester in Israel after that, how it works here?
It's a great question. So semester is actually a lot easier to come back into than our other programs, because think about it, like schools run on a semester program. So let's say he's taking AP Calculus. That's something I would never take. That's why I bring it up. I would never take AP Calculus. Can't even add 2 + 2 these days. So let's say he's taking AP Calculus. First semester of AP Calculus is first semester of AP Calculus. whether you're in Needham, Natick, Israel, like it's, you know, you're all studying for the same AP test. So when you come to Israel in the semester, you're with us. Oftentimes what happens is students will come home actually ahead of where their counterparts are. Because think about it, if you have 60 kids on a program for a semester, and spring tends to be more, so if it's 80 or 90, you know, your academic classes are 4 or 5 kids. So you're only going to be taking your afternoon classes, your math, your science, your English with smaller classes. So there's no busy work, right? There's no busy homework. You accomplish a lot of in that period of time afternoon. Your Israel studies classes you take in the morning, we have small classes of up to 21. But in the afternoon, you know, I've had students take, you know, AP physics with one other person. So it's them, the teacher, and one other student. So they're accomplishing so much. So with the semester, it's oftentimes much easier to re-enter. And I forget, you're in Massachusetts, where?
We are in Nova.
Where? I'm sorry?
Southborough, Northborough.
Oh, okay. So, and are you at LS? What high school?
Algonquin.
Got it. So look, you know, we would work with them to find out sort of where that class is, and slide back in when he comes home. Like, so again, the fall, they come back, there's winter break, and they slide back in the second semester. And we're fully accredited high school. So that means, you know, you get a transcript from Alexander Muss High School in Israel for our semester program. So when you apply to college, we will give you a transcript for that semester.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your school sounds so amazing. Do you have any employment opportunities? No, I'm just kidding.
Listen, I will tell you something. You know, I was a congregation, like I said, I was a congregational rabbi for about 15 years, and I loved my job. I loved what I did. But I got to tell you, you know, for me to do this is like, this is a calling. Like if I could go back, and in fact, what's interesting is we may be starting a gap semester program in the fall, because a lot of colleges don't know what they're doing yet. So we feel like we have an opportunity to offer our alumni. I would have jumped over the moon for the opportunity to go back after high school to Alexander Muss. So, you know, it really, I think it's a special program, but that's my job. And I went, and it changed my life.
So I have a question. So I heard you give an example about having AP Physics and AP Calculus in your program. Do you provide any other AP classes?
Yeah.
Like
so,
AP Psychology in particular?
You know, that's a great question. What's your, Nicole?
Yeah.
Nicole. So I don't know all of the classes we offer, right? I don't remember AP Psychology or not. We offer most AP classes. The one class I know we don't offer is called AP Seminar. Apparently it's a new class. I will tell you this. Yeah, it's a new thing. I know we don't offer it. We've worked with people to get a Chinese teacher, right? I know this won't be necessary for this group. We've actually worked with American students to get a Russian teacher, which you can imagine in Israel wasn't so hard. But, you know, look, we offer most classes. What we don't offer are the electives like music and sort of, you know, art and things like that. And with tuition comes 4 classes, right? So you can take a 5th class if you have to. We don't recommend it. The 5th class is extra. So this is the admissions process where, Nicole, if like it's AP Psychology, we'll figure out if we can get you a teacher or what we would do and things like that.
Okay.
Do you know if you're going to be taking AP Psychology for sure?
Oh, yeah. I signed up for AP Psychology and AP Calculus for my senior year. I already have my book for AP Psychology as well.
Oh, we do offer AP Psychology. I'm just looking at the list. We do. I had to call my list. I was stalling until I called my list up. Apparently we offer AP Psychology.
Nice. Okay.
Great question. Thanks, Nicole. Any other thoughts or questions I can answer?
Hebrew
Was that?
language?
Hebrew.
Hebrew language will kids have?
Thank you. Such a great question. For our semester program, all of the students have to take Hebrew as a class, right? So if you're there for the semester, it's part of the program. If you're there for the 8-week or the summer session, it's not part of the program. So yes, if they're there for the semester, they do take Hebrew.
Do you have kids who come for more than just one semester?
So I get this question all of the time, and for years I've been saying not yet. You know, look, we teach all of Jewish history in that semester space, in that 8-week space. And for years we get this question. We have yet to develop a full year program, mostly because to be away from home for a full year, even for a high school kid, even for an adult, is really hard. So we don't, you know, it really is a semester, 8-week summer. Over the years, we've explored that option and we just haven't gotten there. Trust me, every kid who goes on our program doesn't want to come home. And the first thing they say before they leave is, can I stay or can I go back?
I can imagine. I have one more question here. It's regarding what kind of kids are in school. Are there kids from any other countries or just the United States?
Great
Are
question.
there any local kids, any interactions with local kids?
Great question. So we're actually, back up bigger picture. We're on the Mosenson boarding school campus, right? So Mosenson boarding school has their own dorms. The Mosenson school is for Israelis and foreign students. So there's a lot of Israelis in their own dorms on the other side of campus. At AMHSI, we have students from all over the United States, Australia, and England. So we're international. And depending upon which semester you're there, you may encounter some of our Australian students, some of our British students, and we have day school partners. Like for those of you who know Barrack Academy here in Philadelphia, Milken Academy out in Los Angeles, we have day school partners. So we have students from all across the country, from Dallas, Texas, to Louisville, Kentucky, to Cincinnati, Ohio. One of, I think, the benefits of our program is you're meeting kids from around the country. You know, when I went, you know, for those of you, you know, who remember, you had to wait till after 10 o'clock at night to make a long distance phone call. Remember those days? Well, nowadays the kids have Facebook and Instagram and text. So they're like in touch with their friends all across the country. And I think that's one of the best parts about our program is that they stay in touch with their friends. We do get a good number of people from the greater Boston area. I have an amazing colleague, Dana Klein, who couldn't make it this evening, but Dana is our professional, our local professional who does our recruiting in the greater Boston area. Dana's amazing. For those of you who are interested in the program and will eventually sign up, you're gonna work very closely with Dana and me, of course, but especially Dana. And Dana's over the years done an amazing job. So we have lots of local kids from all the high schools, like I said, Natick, Wayland, LS, Needham, Newton, I forget if it's North or South. We've gotten some of the private school kids. So the answer to your question is yes and yes.
Are there any like field trips you want to do?
Great
And
question.
Saturday, Sunday, what they do when they don't study?
That's a great question. So there's kind of two typical days that I'll describe. The first is when they're on campus. When they're on campus, they're studying in the morning, right? They have their Jewish history class with their history teacher like Donnie Condell or Alan Odess, whoever it is. Then they usually get a break for lunch. And they can have lunch in the cafeteria or go on to Hod Sharon. They get 2.5 hours off campus a day. We're very strict about the time off campus. We're very strict about their, you know, where they are. Security and safety is our #1 concern. They have a phone with an Israeli SIM card. They have to text their RAs. I mean, we're really on top of that. And then they come back in the afternoon, and this is where it's like college. You know, on Tuesday, they could have math and science, but the next day they could only have English because that's the way their schedule worked out. So that's when they're on campus. So in between, they're studying, they're going into town. It's a beautiful campus. They're hanging out on campus. You know, they're, you know, hanging out. I mean, it's like being on a college dorm. And then the second is when they're off campus on what we call Tiulim, trip days. So we have two kinds of trips, day trips. So they could be getting up in the morning at 5 in the morning and going north and coming back at night. Because if they're learning about, say, you know, King David, they're going to go visit, you know, a site that King David was at. Or they may have a day trip to Tel Aviv. We also have overnight trips. Like if they're learning about Jerusalem, they're going to spend some nights in Jerusalem. If they're learning about the Negev and David Ben Gurion, they spend a couple days in the Negev. You know, in the semester, they have a hike from sea to sea. You know, so there are different trips, what we call Tiulim, because Israel is their classroom. right? It isn't just sitting and learning and getting a lecture. We want them out in the Israeli society. We want them out there. You know, Israel really is a living, breathing textbook for them, for lack of a better word. Such a great question. Thank you.
Marina, you have a question?
Yeah. What about sport?
What about, I'm sorry?
Sport opportunities, some soccer, I don't know what else.
Yeah, I mean, so we get all sort, look, you saw we have basketball courts nearby. We have a full gym on campus. We had a student once who was a competitive swimmer, so we were able to find them a Olympic-sized pool nearby. If I remember correctly, they never went, right? You know, they're always outside. They're all like, let's put it this way: if they come for the spring semester, I'd rather be in Hod Sharon than, you know, Needham or New England in January. Even in March, where there is no spring, you go right into summer. So there's all sorts of sports and activities that they can play outside, and there's enough free time that they do it. And they do lots of pickup games and things like that. You know, if you have somebody who's an athlete and needs, you know, we had a student who was a competitive rower, and we tried to get them a relationship with the rowing club at Tel Aviv. So we have those opportunities if they really need them, but there's plenty of outdoor space, plenty of outdoor time, and plenty of opportunity to play things like that.
You mentioned that kids generally prefer second semester because they can, is there a requirement to leave campus in the summer, obviously, or can they stay longer, or why?
So yeah, it's a good, what year is your, remind me how old you're?
He's going into 9th grade.
So again, it depends. What I was saying was, it just depends what year the kids are, right? What I always say is choose the gift of Israel and then choose the right semester. We get a lot of sophomores first semester. We get a lot of juniors second semester. It's just the way it works out. I don't know why, but it really is going to vary what what your preference is. When it comes to second semester in the spring, once the program's over, it's over. They can't stay for the summer. So if you have family in Israel, they can stay in Israel with their family. You know, the spring semester, oftentimes the kids enjoy because they'll come home, early June, and they're done school. So they're ready to go for the summer. Or they stay in Israel if they have family. But in your son's case, he would be eligible for the fall of 2021. But I will say, I love the fall because of the holidays. There's nothing for me. October, November in Israel is my favorite time of year. But
so if we come for the holidays, so it's like almost a whole month of holidays. Are we going to be doing traveling, or if we don't have close family that they can go to?
So for the Chagim in the fall, for the holidays in the fall, we have opportunities for them, right? They're coming for the holidays. Campus is closed. We always have opportunities for them to be with other families and other friends. Many parents do come and visit their kids, take them off campus and stay, but we always have opportunities. The spring semester, we're closed for all of Passover. Sometimes students will come home for Pesach, or sometimes parents will come and visit them. But we've never had a kid left alone. Like, what winds up happening is, if they have no family or friends in Israel, their roommates say, hey, I got somebody, come with me. We always, it's Israel. We work something out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I want to say, again, I really want to thank Sasha for setting this up, for inviting me into this amazing opportunity. I want to thank all of you for what's me, a steamy early summer evening, for letting me just come in, say hello, introduce myself. We're excited about the certificate program for the summer, and we're also obviously excited about AMHSI. I know we've got students all over the map. There's this great opportunity for the grants for our 2021 spring and 2021 fall. But even if you're interested in other opportunities, please be in touch. Make sure Sasha has your email. I mean, I know I can't have any way to email, but my email is G Litkowski. Oh, can I do it?
Yeah.
Oh no, no, the chat says only private. You have to unlock the chat for me.
Oh, okay. Can you send it to me and I send it to everyone then?
Yep, hold on.
That's interesting, because it's if you
can only do private to you can only do so you can send it out.
You can do to everyone.
Oh, it looks like I can't do to everybody.
Yeah, just choose everyone.
No, it's locked for me.
Okay, then just, it's probably from the last teacher.
Did you get it?
Yes, let me put it to everyone.
You can do it to everybody. And I'm happy to talk to you. And again, like I said, I have an amazing colleague in Boston who, I spelled my name right, G. Litkowski. Sometimes I type fast. And, you know, we're happy to help you through everything. And I hope you'll sign up for the summer certificate program with Donnie. He's an amazing teacher. We're excited about offering the program and helping in any way we can. And again, Sasha, I really appreciate the time.
And don't forget, our 6-week program only costs $150 and not $8,000.
150 gets you 10,000. I mean, it's easy. Easy math. Even I can do that math.
I wish my son could go, but he's only goes to 8th grade right now.
We'll get him there eventually, Sasha. Don't worry. Well, thank you all again. Sasha, if there's any questions, my email's in there. If anybody has any follow-up, please let me know, and we're happy to help.
Okay, thank you very
And
much.
please be sure to sign up for the summer session. Sorry, please be sure to sign up. Please be sure to sign up with Sasha and the website for our 6-week summer program with Donnie.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.